The reason you are never going to be $1 million coach actually has nothing to do with your business. Hi, I'm Caitlin Kogan-Dumner, co-founder of the Ecstatic Way, and today we are going to unpack the 6 Ps, our framework for your most successful life and business. And if you stick around to the end, we are going to unveil the magical principle number 7, which we have never shared before and is available on this video. The 6 Ps are principle, purpose, passion, pleasure, priorities, and pack. And we'll unveil the 7th one at the end. While most people might start with purpose, we actually begin with principles. The principles are the core values of your life. How do you define success? As we mentioned, this is good for life and business, whether you're a professional or an entrepreneur. What are the things that you are going to look back at the end of your life and say, my life was so incredibly successful because I was in alignment with these values? For me personally, my top one is love. Am I doing life with people I love in a loving way? The second one is freedom. Do I have the ability to make the choices that are best for me and my community without worrying about the constraints of others? And lastly, creative expression. Am I living a fully expressed life? So your homework is to go look at the end of your life and think through what is most important to me. Write them down. You might start with 10, 20, but I want you to narrow it down to somewhere between 3 to 5. You should be able to memorize them and recall them easily when you're making decisions in your life. Is this in alignment with my core principles? And keep in mind that these might change over time. This is the sort of exercise that you're probably going to want to do on an annual basis. New Year's Eve is a great time of year for you to reset and make sure that you're still in alignment. The second P is purpose. Why are you on the planet? This is your core mission. Again, as an individual or as an organization, what are you trying to achieve in the world? The easiest way to think about this is imagine that you have a magic wand and you can wave your magic wand and change one thing for all of humanity. It has to impact everyone on the planet equally. What would you change in order to bring the current reality into alignment with what you want to see happen in the world? For me personally, my mission is to end emotional suffering. When I was younger, I suffered from terrible anxiety and suicidal depression. No matter how much I did in my life, I couldn't find my way to happiness. There was a divine intervention at a cacao ceremony in Bali, and I had this realization that while pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And what came through for me is what we now call the Ecstatic Way. It is the framework for managing our emotional state. And I want to share that message with the world so that everybody can experience the emotional freedom that comes from owning your experience of life. So the easiest way for you to articulate what is your purpose, your mission, is to answer, I exist to. What is the thing that you are here to do? Or if it's your organization, my organization exists to, and fill in that blank for yourself. And keep in mind that this may evolve and certainly will refine over time. We often find that people associate themselves so deeply with their purpose that when their purpose ends, they really struggle to find their new identity. You might think of stay-at-home moms who become empty nesters, or military personnel who leave the military. Or how many of us have heard stories of people who retire from their work and then they die fairly soon because they don't have purpose driving them forward to make a difference in the world. So no matter where you're at, if you're in the middle and feeling dissatisfied, or you're feeling a little lost and you're disconnected from your identity, coming back to your purpose is really going to help you understand how you fit into the bigger picture of life. Our next 2 principles belong equally in the bedroom and the boardroom. Do you remember what they were? Number 3 is passion. Your passion is your vision. What are you passionate about creating in your life and in your work? So your homework assignment is going to be your 10, 10, 10. How does your life look a 10 out of 10 in the next 10 years? Describe this for every area of your life, your health, your money, your career, your romance. Understand what your ideal world is going to look like, feel like, smell like, taste like. This is what it's going to look like when you are fully aligned with your principles and your purpose. Now, this exercise can feel kind of difficult sometimes. Many of our clients are high achievers who have become burnt out and disconnected from their purpose for so long that the idea of creating their ideal life feels dissociative. They just can't get themselves to see what it looks like to be in that space. If vision boards aren't your thing, you can also use Bob Proctor's goal cards and start the sentence, "I am so happy and grateful now that," and write it as if it's a journal entry as your future self in the present tense. Our fourth P is pleasure. This is one of my favorites. Your pleasure is your compass. In the Ecstatic way, we teach that your emotions are your guidance system, making sure that you are in alignment with your principles, your purpose, and your passion. You can use your emotions to tell whether or not you are on track. We've spoken on previous videos about yin and yang energy. Most people set their goals in the yang energy. I want to do this. I want to make this much money. I want to achieve this goal. And that, unfortunately, when disconnected from your pleasure, can end up with feeling very unfulfilling. Have you ever achieved a goal and realized, I think I might be worse off than I was before, right? You get to the next income bracket and you're paying more taxes. You actually find the love of your life and you marry them, and then you discover that they're not actually that great, right? So there are times when we are so goal focused that we miss the point of the goal. So your pleasure is the why of your purpose. It's the how should you feel when you have accomplished all of these things in your life. So we want you to start in the yin energy. We want you to define, how do I want to feel in that 10 out of 10 life? I want to feel grateful. I want to feel loved. I want to feel appreciated. I want to feel free. I really want you in the pleasure principle to focus on your emotional state. And then in the next one, we'll get into your goals. So we start in yin. What is our purpose? Why are we on the planet? Then we move into setting our goals. And then we come back to pleasure. Pleasure is what anchors us in the day-to-day. So at the Ecstatic Way, we teach our clients, make your plans, and then on a daily basis, check in with what feels easy, what feels light, and what feels fun. This is what's going to tap into your intuition. Your pleasure principle is your compass for making sure that you're in alignment. So now you have more passion and pleasure, hopefully in your bedroom and your boardroom. Now it's time to get done. Fifth principle is priorities. This is where we get to lean into that yang energy and set some goals. What do you want to do and accomplish towards that mission that you've established within that pleasure principle that you've defined? This is where we get to set our SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. You want to think of your goals as the force multiplier for your personal development. I want you to set such a big goal for yourself that you recognize that you, as you currently are, could not achieve that. The goal is so big that you have to become a different person in order to achieve that. So if right now your goal is to make more money, let's say you want to make $1 million. I want you to put a 0 at the end of that. I want you to make it a $10 million goal or a $100 million goal. If your goal is to write a book, I want you to publish a bestseller. I want you to push your goals, your personal and your professional goals, to the very limit and then past the limit of what you think you're capable, so that you are forced to become your next level self. For my husband and I, we decided that one of our big audacious goals was going to be travel the world with our 3 kids. Back in 2019, we decided that we were going to make this happen, and we set a target for summer of 2021. We had to reverse engineer everything that was going to be required for us to make that a reality. We had to build up the revenue in our business. We had to make sure that the business was primarily running itself. We had to get kids out of diapers. We had to work really hard to completely restructure our reality to facilitate that goal. And that goal we've done for 2 years now. We still have another 2 years to go. We've gone to 25 countries. We still have 3 more continents left. Our goal was really to create experiences for ourselves and our children that would radically change their psychological development and the evolution of their soul. But in order for me to do that, I had to become the wife, the mom, the business owner that could facilitate that for others. And I'll tell you how to set and achieve your own audacious goal at the end of this video. But first, we're going to talk about PAC, the sixth principle, which is your community. Who's running alongside you as you work towards these priorities and goals? So why bother with community at all? It can feel like so much work to get everybody in your life on board with your own mission, vision, values, and it can feel like a lot. If you've ever tried to get in your car and go to the store, you know that it is so much faster and easier for you to get in that car by yourself than it is to try and bring in your spouse and all of your kids, get everything packed. But if you want to go farther, you need all of that preparation. You need a second driver. You need the snacks and the waters in the back seat. It takes time to prepare for a journey, but the journey is going to be better in the long run. But you are going to go further and be more successful when you have your pack. As an entrepreneur, it can feel so lonely to try and build our business by ourselves. 40% of startups fail from burnout, and the number one cause of burnout is isolation. You need your pack. Now, this is surrounding yourself with people who love you, who get you, and who have got your back. So you might recognize that you need a pack, but let me tell you why it's exponentially better to be surrounded by people who are living the life you want to live, doing what you want to do. It's a little secret called mirror neurons. You've heard that you are the product of the 5 people who surround you. This is because our brains are wired to learn by modeling faster, easier, and more effectively than through other learning styles. So if you think of a child, the child is watching what you're doing and is repeating that behavior. So when you are surrounded by people who are living the life you want to live, doing what you want to do, your body is going to naturally regulate itself to match the paradigm that you're surrounded with. We see this in obesity, we see this in your happiness quotient, we see this in your net income. You will always rise to the set point of your community. So are you supported by a mentor, by a peer group, by partners, and are you supporting a mentee? Do you have support in every direction, making sure that you are on track to live the life you want to live, doing the work that you want to do? It's finally time to unveil the 7th P, profit. Yay! Profit often is thought about in a business context. It's easy to measure in a business context. Are you appreciating in value over time? Is there more money coming in than is going out? And this is an important metric for whether or not you're doing your work well in the world. But what most people overlook, that you can actually start thinking about this principle in your life as well. Do you feel that your life is continuing to get richer every single day? Are you making daily progress towards building a life that is aligned with your principles, your purpose, your passion, your pleasure, your priorities, and your pack? Now is your time to step into your most ecstatic life, to create an ecstatic business. Click the link below to access our Ecstatic Life Design course, where we will walk you through and give you exercises for each one of these modules, and you can do it with yourself, you can do it with your spouse, you can do it with your team. But make sure that your life reflects these 7 principles of success, so that you not only build $1 million business, you feel like $1 million.